Hello everyone. I'm going to give you some instructions here today, a tutorial on how to do your name in block lettering and give it a 3D effect using 1 point perspective. Start off with an eye level line, and I want to put a vanishing point near the center. You'll see later on in this video I actually end up moving that eye level line and that vanishing point. At this point, what we're going to do now is we're going to make two guidelines. These two guidelines are going to be for the top and the bottom of our block lettering. I'm going to do my name, M-U-M-A-U. To make sure I have it spaced out, what I'm going to do is just kind of take a guess here about the width of each letter, and then I put another mark in between for spacing. You want to make sure that you do that. You want to put 2 marks for the width of your letter, and then a mark in between for your spacing. Very, very lightly, I'm going to make stick letters. These will end up turning into block letters, but for right now, it's just kind of giving me an idea of where my letters are going to go, where I need to put my block lettering. One of the things that I'll make a point about as we go through this is make sure you draw your lines light. Actually, for my taste, my lines are a little bit dark right now because I'm doing this so you guys can see it okay on the video. But normally I would draw this a little bit lighter so only I would be able to see it. And the reason for that is at the end here we're going to be erasing a lot. We're going to be outlining this in pen, and then we're going to be erasing a lot of the lines. I'm just going to speed it up here and show you kind of how I did the block lettering. I know it is going a little bit fast, but basically what you want to do is make it around 1/4 of an inch in width, and that is just about the end of the block lettering. Okay, now that we have that done, we're going to take our lines back to our vanishing point. And this is the part I was telling you about that I really didn't like how low this was setting, so I'm going to raise it up a little bit higher. I want to get a more dramatic effect from my 3D lettering. So I put an eye level line, and then I put my vanishing point at the top. Now I'm going to take each one of the corners of my letter back to the vanishing point. You'll notice I stop about halfway up. You can go the whole way up if you want, but you'll see later on in this video, after we ink everything in, we're going to be erasing all those lines. Notice too that I'm also taking back lines that are in under at the bottom of the letter as well, and I stop right when it hits any kind of object that's going to be in front of it. In this case, on the bottom part of the end, bottom part of the M, I had to stop where the M actually was going to cover up my other line. I'm going to continue this the whole way across for every part of the letter that can go back to the vanishing point. Now, not all the points will, and some of the points will be blocked, but that's okay. Again, I'm speeding it up here a little bit. After we have them all the perspective lines in, what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim off the top, and I want to make them all even. So I'm going to do them all at one time. Now, the one part of the M I didn't get the whole way back, so I'm just going to go back in there because I want to make it a little bit deeper. Okay, I think I'm ready now. So I'm going to take notice I'm keeping my ruler nice and level, and I'm going to, wherever there's a horizontal line, see a short little line there, I'm going to make a short little line up there. And I'm going to do this for all the tops of my letters, and then I'm going to go in and I'm going to do other parts of the letter as well. But for this part, just doing the very tops of the letters. Again, we're going to keep these lines kind of light. I will be going over them in pen, and then I'll be erasing all my pencil lines. Okay, that's a good way to start. Now, what I need to do, after I erase the extra lines that went across the top, what I'm going to do now is any line that is an angle like this M or any vertical line needs to be included as well. You'll notice this is the line that I want to repeat. I'm going to repeat this line, so I'm going to line my ruler up on it and slide it back till it gets to the top of that M. And you'll see the next letter is a vertical line, and I'm going to slide that back until I reach the top of my M. For my U, that's a vertical line that has a little bit of a curve on it. So I'm going to line my ruler up vertically with that U and slide it back till I hit the top of my letter. And then right where that little bit of a bend is, I want to repeat that line. It's a little bit of a curve. It was near the front, so I'm going to do the same thing in the back. Another vertical line here. And then you see the angled part of the M. I'm going to slide my ruler back and put that in there as well. You need to repeat that shape to give it a real good three-dimensional effect. That's the other part of my M. Now let's take a look at that A. The A is at this type of an angle, so I'm going to slide it back till I get to the top of the A, and I'm going to make that angle. And here's my U, vertical line. I'm going to slide it back till I reach the top, and a vertical line down until it reaches something that's in front of it. And finally, my last letter, once again, going to line it up and slide it back until I reach that letter, the top part of that letter. Okay, at this point what I'm going to do is take a ultrafine Sharpie and outline every line that I've done in pencil. I know this might seem like it's going to take a while, and it will, and it's a little bit tedious, but the end result's going to be much better than just having pencil lines. When you're inking, also keep this in mind. The ink will get on the edge of your ruler, so if you're not careful, you can create a smudge. So occasionally what you want to do is take the ruler and actually have a tissue nearby to wipe it off. Now I'm going to do this for the entire word or the entire name, and I'm going to speed it up a little bit for you guys. Everything that I've done in pencil, I want to redo in pen. This process took me around 10 to 15 minutes. Okay, then we're going to clean it up with an eraser, erase all my pencil lines. And now what I want to do is I'm going to start putting patterns on the facade or the face of my letters. These can be anything from amorphic shapes, they can be geometric shapes. You may decide that you just want to keep them flat. I wanted to do something with a little bit of a pattern to it, so I decided to do this. It's also going to accentuate my 3D. If you want to leave these flat, you can. If you want to leave them with no decoration and just leave them plain, that's fine. I wanted to do some different types of patterns. I really like the amorphic shape, and I like changing the quality of the line a little bit. Again, anytime that you're penciling anything in and you're going to be coming back in and putting in color, you want to make sure that you keep those lines pretty light. And so with that, we're going to speed it up a little bit and get all my patterns on the front of my letters, or also known as the facade of my letters. And then I want to go over them in ink. Here are my colored pencils that I'm going to use, and you'll see for the most part I'm going to be working in warm colors. These are ranging in red, yellow, orange. I also have a couple of blue and violets in there, and what I use those for is doing a little bit of shading. You also see that I have a pencil sharpener. You will wear down the tip of your colored pencils as you use them. I'm going to do a couple different things here. The one is I'm just going to do a technique where I'm just putting the color straight in without any blending at the beginning. And then I'm going to do another technique where I actually will put a light blue layer down before I put any layers on top of it. Since I'm using perspective where the edge of the amorphic shape landed, I'm going to take that back to the vanishing point as well. And hopefully it'll accentuate that 3D effect. Colors I'm going to use here is I have an orange, and then I'm going to come right in and use a little red here. Again, I'm using warm colors. The intensity is probably about a middle intensity as far as the colored pencil goes. Colored pencil, especially these Prismacolor, you can get them pretty dark, but the thing is I'm going to be doing a layering, especially on the block part of the letters. And actually what I'll do there is I'll put a real light layer of blue down. You'll see this later on in the video. I'll put a light layer of blue down and then bring in colors. It might even be a little bit of a gray, and then I'll bring colors in on top of it, and it will actually make it look like more like a shadow. As I said, I'm going to actually use a couple different techniques. This first technique that I'm using, I'll put the color, the regular color down, and then I'm going to come in with a darker blue right here and put it in, and then I'll actually come in with the red and put it on top, put more red on top of this blue. As I come closer to the facade of the letter, I actually lighten that blue up a little bit. And now I'm going to come in with the red, and I'm going to layer right on top of it. And with colored pencils, you can use this layer, and you can actually put, and you'll see I do this later on, is you can put a layer of yellow down, and when you put the blue on top of it, it'll actually turn a little bit green. Here it is, sped up a little bit. And you'll see as I get through these letters, like when I start doing the U, I'll actually put the blue down first, and then I'll shade on top of the blue. And that's just a layering process. And sometimes if I don't like the colors, I'll come. Okay, now as I said, I will lay down a kind of a base layer of the gray or the blue, and then bring in my colors on top of it, just to give it a little bit of a contrast. So anyway, that's about pretty much it, guys. Hope you have fun and that you enjoy it.